this is August 12th, 2026. And what we're going to do today, we're going to chat about how a pharmacist can actually get you introduced to assisted living. In addition, we're going to chat with Jackie out of Maryland and hear some of the progress that she's making. And hopefully Pua is with us in California, because we've got ladies who are really getting appointments and getting sit downs. When you guys hit obstacles, like you're wondering what the next step is, it's because there's pre-meeting and post-meeting. Before you go into a meeting with any golden goose, I'm happy to do a quick 30-minute brainstorm with you. Ideally, it's with you and your introducer. Before you go in on that presentation to sit with the retirement home, assisted living, the CPA, anybody you're about to do a sit down with, I'd like to do a sit down with you on a Zoom call. And because it's not what you're going to say, it's what you're going to ask. And I also want to make sure you have no expectation that you're walking out of that meeting with a listing. It's too early in that relationship. And so the objective is you have to go with your introducer. You always have to have an introducer with you. And again, if you haven't called 10 appraisers in your market, by the way, I can almost guarantee you, if you call 10 appraisers, you don't even know. Half of them are going to answer the question the following way. And that's this. And that's if Patrick Friel makes that call to an appraiser, he lives in, Patrick, are you in North Fort Myers?
Yeah, North Fort Myers.
Right. And you kind of got dark there in your screen. So if Patrick talked to 10 appraisers this month, I bet 4 or 5 of them are going to respond the following way. Sure, I do probate. I love probate. And then he gets to sit down with them at the cafe, at Starbucks or something like that. I mean, guys, I guarantee these are the outcomes. And I don't know most of you that well, but I know how the process works. And Christopher Perez, first time on this call. Hey, Chris, good afternoon. And Christopher, what market are you in? Chris Perez?
Mhm.
Maybe he's driving a car right now. So it's
I told you where it was already.
by the way, guys, if you can mute your background, if you're not talking with me directly, but keep your video on so I can call on you.
Hey, Kelsey.
Hey,
It's
Dina.
Chris.
So, hey, Chris, real quick question. Then I'm actually going to talk to Jacqueline. Chris, what market are you in?
I'm in the South Florida, Miami, Fort Lauderdale market.
So I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Do you know, can you pick up the phone and call 10 appraisers tomorrow?
I can call about 5.
Okay. And the outcome of at least 2 of those, if you ask the question, are you familiar with probate? Because I love probate and I'm looking for somebody who's got experience. You know what they're going to say? I love probate too. And I want to do those with you. And so you go, you just initiated your introducers. That's it. This is not rocket science. Call your favorite title company. Call anybody that does business with probate, because we're not cold calling probate. We're getting introduced. And we're going to get to hopefully Pua out of California in a few minutes here. But I want to start with Jacqueline, because these people are getting meetings. Now, I'm also getting some feedback that says they want my website. So guess what we're going to give you? A website. And it's going to be off of Business Development Coalition. or bdc.com, and we're going to give you a slash page. And on that page, it's going to say why you're an expert. I don't want to drive them to your EXP site. I sell America's home. I'm a realtor. No, you're in a business development coalition. And we want them to go to your BDC site. We want the golden goose to go, wow, I see what you do. And it's not about I sell homes, because you're just another realtor then. So at bdc.com, Patrick and Pua and Rick and everybody, Claude, we're going to have a web page for you. And it basically shows people what it means that you're part of the Business Development Coalition. And so 3 things here. We want to know post-meeting what would help you in that relationship. We want to talk with you pre-meeting, before you do a sit down with the golden goose. Ideally, get on a call with me, because I'm your Sherpa, if you will. I want to prepare you, Rick, with you and your appraiser before you go in, that you understand what your role is and what their role is. Because everybody wants a golden goose, and we don't want you to show up and throw up. So I can't always equip you with just the school training. I need to know, did you look up the golden goose on their tax record? Is their house they live in 4 million or 400,000? Are they married? Are they single? And are there 3 business partners? Are there 4 attorneys in the company? Are they a solo entrepreneur? The better we know who you're meeting with, the better we can prepare you to go into the meeting. And then after the meeting, I need a recap. So on that note, Jacqueline Barnes in Maryland, you sent me an email, a post-meeting email, right? So kind of
Yes.
hit a quick recap for me, because what I want you guys to see is, if you do a meeting with a probate attorney, retirement home, divorce attorney, or any kind of account, I'll help you debrief as to what to do next. So Jackie, what happened? You met with an attorney, you sent me an email.
Yes.
What's your issue? Because you didn't get a listing yet out of him.
No.
But so kind of unpack that. It's just you and me, and I'll help you out here.
Okay. The meeting was with my friend, who is a friend of the attorney. They've been friends for over 20 years. And so anyway, we met up and they talked for a while, about other things. And as it turns out, well, my friend is a publisher, right? And so he wants the attorney in his magazine. He's in a very affluent, the magazine is only in affluent areas around the United States. And he wants this attorney, in it, but anyway, so they talked about that. And then also he had a situation with a friend of his whose wife died about a month ago. And there's a whole lot of mess, about probate. So he wants the attorney to handle that. And so after they had talked, they turned to me, and I asked him about his business, what type of attorney, what type of attorney work he did. And he said that he actually was litigation.
Okay.
And so I asked him how much of his business was probate. And he said 25% of his business is probate. And as we went on, he was talking about situations that happen where all of a sudden people coming out the woodwork, claiming that they have financial interest in a property, and
So let me ask
so
you this. In interest of time, I'm going to just kind of jump in here a little bit here. So you're sitting with an attorney,
yes,
and who's 25% of their business is probate,
Yes.
And the question is, does that give you 10 deals a year? And we don't know how many closings he does or transactions he
Right.
does, but let's say it's 10 deals a year.
Mm-hmm.
And you're sitting with this person.
Yes.
And what we can't do is, remember, there's always two parts to these interviews. When you sit with a seller, it's all about interviewing on two things, right? Price and marketing. When you're sitting on a listing call, price and marketing. When you're sitting with a golden goose on an account, it's them and then you. It's two parts.
Right.
You may never get on your first date to part two. Part one, let them talk. Let them share about their lives. Because who's the
Right.
most important person in a conversation? Them.
Yes, of course.
Everybody wants to talk about you or them. Them.
That's right.
So because of the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, which our product is built off of, the goal is to talk about them as much as you can,
Right.
but then to set up where it goes before the meeting ends. If you don't get to part two, which is, by the way, I hold a real estate license in the state of Maryland, because we're not going to go, I'm a realtor, can I have your listings? The goal on a listing interview is to talk about them, their goals and things like that. And then you get permission to talk about you.
Right.
Account acquisition is similar but different in that you're not walking out with a listing agreement or a contract with the golden goose. You're walking out with the beginning of a relationship of somebody who's got 10 houses a year. And I know agents, they're like, well, I didn't get the listings yet. Well, you don't have the relationship yet. And if we're patient and we know there's always a next step, Bob, I'm going to get back to you on A, B, and C. Remember, one of the most important things to do when you're sitting with a vendor, an introducer, and or the golden goose asking a really important question. Who would you like to be introduced to? Because I'm part of the business development coalition here in Los Angeles, or here in Dallas, here in Chicagoland. I'm part of the business development coalition. It's important to me to find out who you want to be introduced to. Because if he's doing 25% probate, it's kind of like run with that. Would you want to be introduced to a CPA or a financial planner or an estate planner attorney? We want to give them what you're there for. What we're there for is we're there to help them expand their business, but we're not there to handle listings. Not yet. Again, that's like a first date, hoping somebody's going to say, yep, let's get married. It's too much to expect on the first sit down. But if you really gel with them, they may say to you, I got a listing right now. And this one realtor got fired. They couldn't get it sold. And I'm gonna tell the family they should go with you. It's possible. So once you've done more and more of these presentations, it's kind of like the first time you called on a FSBO. You probably were really bad at it. By the time you called on your 15th, you're knowing how to do it better. You were awkward in the beginning.
True.
And you will be less awkward the more you do. Let's say this. Imagine you had to sit through 10 probate attorneys. The first one just didn't go well. Second didn't go well. Are you getting better? You're getting better
You should
all the
be.
time.
Yeah.
Because guys, it only takes one.
Actually, it went really well. I mean, it went surprisingly, miraculously well because I feel like I messed up on everything. I ran out the house. I forgot my list of questions, and and but in the midst of it, he said he would like to work with me, and then he began to talk about two probates cases that he's working on now. that he would like to work with me.
So let's,
So I didn't ask anything about business, but what
wonderful.
my friend did, and he did this wrong, he introduced me to him as a realtor with a specialist, with a specialty.
What,
And so,
what's beautiful about this is you're acknowledging some things went wrong. You had a list of 9
everything was,
questions that we gave you in the script book, which you left at home. He
yes,
introduced you as a realtor, and it's like, okay, those were imperfect outcomes, but he still brought up that I've got 2 probate properties right now. So let's talk about what would happen next.
okay,
If an attorney says to any of you, I've got some properties, you're not going to say, I'm an asset manager. What I'd like to do is put together what we call a velocity report. It's something really short and simple, but it's amazing that tells you about the velocity in the market around the subject property. Would it be okay, Bob, if I got that to you? And he might go, I'm too busy, I'm not interested. But the velocity report, you guys haven't seen it yet. You guys, none of you have seen what I've done for hedge funds, relocation companies, attorneys, what have you. I didn't give it to you yet because you already got enough on your plate with what we're providing to you. But you're now moving through the cycles, Jackie. You're moving through the cycles where now what do I do when the attorney said to me, I got 2 houses. Let's say both those houses are where you live. Are they $500,000 or $1 million? What are they? What the price range are they, you think?
I have no idea.
What's your average price point in your area?
I think it's about 450
Okay.
in this area,
So
but
let's
I
just
don't
say,
know where it is because he's out of 3 offices, and so I have no idea.
so the attorney has
He
3
just said it
offices.
needed work. He knew that one of them needed quite a bit of work.
So you could introduce wholesalers to it, investors to it.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, everybody, what's Jacqueline do next if you were in her shoes? Pua, do you have something? You unmuted.
Hit the listing.
Yeah,
All right, everybody, that was the answer. Good talking to you. Yeah. No, well, it is, if he's got 2 to give already, is she sitting on an account that is going to give her 7 to 10 a year if the conversation went that well? Part of this recording of today is I only met Jackie a month or 2 ago, whatever it was. And now she's opening doors and her vendors are opening doors and she's getting the sit down. But what if she found another introducer and then another introducer? And it is, don't build your CRM. I mean, go ahead, build your CRM if you want to, but build your introducers. And I'd say to you guys, if you're not getting introducers every week, sitting down at a cafe, and you're not improving, you're not making mistakes, because you're going to make mistakes. But like my friend John, the PGA golf pro in Orlando, wherever John is. John, do your people suck at golf in the beginning?
Typically, yes, for sure.
Yeah, and you probably have them doing certain things so that they improve. Just give us a quick example, because you're with the PGA. Then we have golfers on here. Do you have a quick 30-second tip? Everybody can become better at golfing.
Yeah, so I would say you have to have a good grip, aim, and setup. So that's where it starts. You have to be set up the right way for success.
Grip, aim, and setup. That spells the word gas.
Correct, exactly.
And in order to get better, and I mean, it's lovely. We actually have a pro in the PGA on the call with us who told us a really good tip, but over the weeks, they're going to get better. If you guys aren't out doing this, swinging away, making mistakes, you're disappointed because it didn't happen that fast. Your mindset isn't right. You've got to go make some mistakes and get better at it. And I'm just so pleased for the people that are doing it already and what they're reporting back to me about like what Jacqueline Barnes is doing. And
Can I share something?
go for it, Jackie.
Okay, I really see how important it is with you telling us to call the appraisers, call the liquidators and all of that, because the attorney did ask me about, website and how to get to the resources, which told me that, he has needs right now. And I haven't built up that list of resources. He wanted to know if there was a website he could go to where he said he scrambles when he's looking for help, with probate, the different professionals, he's scrambling.
Then
So,
you're the helper.
right. So we're saying, we're the connectors to the resources, to help these attorneys. And I felt like, I didn't have those resources prepared, so I feel like I need a website and I need, to be able to provide that each one of us. So it's so important that we're building that database, I guess you could call it, of professionals that have to do with probate.
Yeah, you're an extension of his service program at that point. If you can offer
Mm-hmm.
him a couple of insights on those valuable resources, that's
Yes,
your foot in the door for sure.
I want to
right,
follow up with
right.
Patrick Friel out of Fort Myers, what he just said, that we are an extension of their service program,
Yes.
but we're also an extension of their sales program.
Mhm.
How so? Every attorney wants when you woke up this morning thinking, I wish I had an account. I don't have to go out and look for business. You know what? They want the exact same thing. Patrick said an extension of their service, but you're an extension of their sales force, because your job, Sean, is to introduce them to another golden goose. If you're a probate attorney, are you looking for a realtor or a CPA? Somebody give me some feedback.
Realtor.
I'm going to ask this question one more time. You get two guesses, Pua.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Does a probate attorney
Oh,
want,
he wants a CPA
because why?
because the CPA can bring him business.
Clients die.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bigger the CPA, the more clients they have. So if you guys know a CPA, you want to know a great introduction to for a probate attorney at a cafe, take them a CPA, because their
I
clients
just
die.
met one last night.
We are relationship rainmakers. We can't forget that. You almost have to forget that you're a realtor and say, I'm only supposed to introduce people to people. That's my job. And to think we got to go and forget the realtor stuff and live off of accounts. And I've interviewed everybody here. Hello, Nadia in Chicagoland. She's delightful, Nadia Pendleton. And guys, all you have to do is ask your vendors for a sit down. If you need a refresher, go to the Project 84 Business Academy. It'll say, it's like this week, the challenge for all of you: call 5 appraisers, call estate liquidators, call the pharmacist. By the way, that was part of today's course today. If you go, what does the pharmacist have to do with getting an account?
Brian, I have a question. What is your thoughts on a private investigator as an introducer?
All right, I'm intrigued. When I met John in Florida with the PGA, I'm thinking, man, this dude, once he gets this thing, he's sitting on so many retirement homes. So let's take this now to private investigator, who, by the way, I'm going to get to that second. Let me just say something about pharmacist. Why would a realtor think a pharmacist can get them an account introduction? If you go to a retirement home or assisted living, do you know that pharmacists go out there and hand deliver and then sit with somebody who's 87 years old and show her how she takes her medicine?
Wow.
So there are pharmacists that go out to assisted living. And which means they know the people that run the place. Or like John in Florida, he knows the lady, John, who runs the what? The lifestyles events.
Yeah, the lifestyle director.
Yeah.
Wow.
If you guys meet the lifestyle director at a retirement home, because you know a golfer that will go out and give lessons to old people, and the lifestyle director introduces you to the people that run the place, make a connection. They're everywhere. Make it your goal every week. You're meeting introducers that will introduce you to a golden goose. So let's take a private investigator as an idea. I have no idea. I guess my question to you is, who is the investigator looking at? By the way, I'm assuming the investigator was hired by the attorney to go watch somebody. Now, I never thought of it. Who asked me that question?
I did, Pua.
Cool.
And I only brought that up because I don't know where I was. I saw an advertisement for a private investigator where he says, I find long lost heirs for probate attorneys.
So,
And I thought,
all right, I like that idea. So imagine you guys, Frank, Christopher, Patricia, imagine your career, Alexander, was only with private eyes. And you're a realtor. And you're going, I'm going to corner that niche. Why? Because private investigators may know 25 probate attorneys. One guy. You're done. Just if he wants to play frisbee golf, go frisbee golf with him. Wants to go fishing, hang out with people that are attached to accounts that and by the way, inside of your CRM, if you haven't gone through a program with us called Sift Your CRM, we'll help you sift your CRM, because you guys are sitting on your CRM. You think they're buyers and sellers. Nope. They're introducers, they're connectors. And again, almost forget that you're a realtor and say, I'm an account executive in this territory. I'm going to find either cold call an appraiser, cold call an estate liquidator, cold call a pharmacist, cold call a private eye. Find people that are connected to the accounts that you want, but set a goal that you're seeing no less than 3 new people per week. Let's get the rust. Let's get the imperfection out of what you're doing. And remember, before you go in to meet the golden goose, get a hold of me. I'm going to rehearse that with you. And then your post meeting, after you do the sit down with the golden goose and you get out of it, just like Jacqueline Barnes was saying, I'll help debrief to say, okay, do this next, do this next, do that next. I'm going to record the call and we're going to put it on Project 84 training site. If you guys haven't gone on there yet to check out our live events, I do, like with Pua, I've done a recording call. With Jacqueline, I've done a recording call. With John, I've done a recorded call. With Alexander Hernandez out of Miami, I recorded our call. He had some really great questions. This stuff, guys, my coaching will put on that site so you can, kind of like a fly on the wall. You want to listen in? You want to get sharper? Go listen to our recorded calls. So I think private investigators, and I like your why, Pua. It's why would a private investigator be good? And why would a PGA golfer be good? Because he's tied to retirement homes. And it's just a matter of, we need momentum. You guys are a locomotive. All right. It's kind of slow to get out of the we're not calling on FSBOs, right? Which I know you guys would hate to do. We're just networking. And you're part of the Business Development Coalition. We really want to play that up, because once you get your web page from us, we're building the website right now. the Business Development Coalition for Miami, for Los Angeles, for your marketplace. And you'll be able to send people to that site where there's going to be real buy-in from those people as to what you do. And in small print, we're going to put, oh, we're also real estate agents. But if we're telling people who are realtors, and that's what we're looking for, oh, you're one of them. I want you to go to Chamber of Commerce meetings and introduce yourself. I'm with the Business Development Coalition here in Los Angeles, here in Springfield, Illinois. And that's a lot better than here's my card, I'm a realtor. So who's going to lead the field between now and the end of this month? I mean, lead the field. Who is going to see the most amount of people get the rust out? If you want to be really challenged, put something in the chat box that says, push me, Brian. You know, and all I'm looking to do is before you go on a meeting with your golden goose, your introducer gets on the Zoom call with you and me. I'll prep you because I want you to win. I don't want you to blow it. You know, don't show up and throw up. So, all right, my friend, James Buckley, you know, there's some of you that have the possibility to do 100 million a year. And some people, is your goal 10 million a year, 25 million a year, 50 million a year? I'm interested in your numbers. And the last thing I'll say on this is everybody has a peak portfolio. My brother and I, it was 35 units, 15 closings every month from accounts, not from friends and family, because we wanted to have a $2 million valuation of our business. If you haven't been to project84.biz, go there. Establish what you're going to promise a loved one, what you're going to sell your business for in 84 months. You don't have to leave the business 84 months, but you know what you do need to do? You need to promise a loved one that you're working on a business that you're going to sell. You can't sell your CRM for a nickel. Who's going to buy your CRM? But you can sell accounts. You have to have them at least 3 years, and they probably have to do more than 25 units in those 3 years.
I don't know. I might buy your CRM.
Must have deep pockets.
Bless you. I love working with you guys on this stuff. And we are passionate. If you have a meeting with the Bulldog, don't blow it off. By the way, we're getting better as well. We're learning so much from you guys. We want to, this is why we're coming up with Business Development Coalition, the website. This is why we're giving you mosaic books. There's a book specifically for your introducer. Soon we're going to have a book for you for the Golden Goose. Soon we're going to have a mosaic book for you that you're going to send to a seller before you go on a listing call that's specialized in probate, where we have a pre-pitch listing. Everybody wants a pre-listing kit. We're doing one specifically for this niche. Why they should hire you versus the other 12 agents, John, who sent them junk mail while the house was in probate. Because you guys, John, you're going to see this. You're going to be competing with a lot of agents. But the attorney ideally is telling the family to go with you. But there could be 4 siblings and somebody else has got a favorite realtor. We got to eliminate your competitor. We got to think through they're talking to another realtor. Even if the attorney says, John's my guy, we know that we're competing. And our job is to help you eliminate the competitor. And we put a lot of time in these books. And and we could improve on them. Pooh is helping us in California. We won't go into it right now, but she's helping us with some design ideas that we need to address. So, guys, I've kind of gone over our time. I try to keep this 30 minutes. I'm going to do a quick Q&A here. And first of all, I want to thank John and Pua and Jacqueline for your contribution. And whoever did a yell out before, whoever did that, thank you. So a quick Q&A, guys. Here's your opportunity. Who's got a question for me or a comment?
I do. Last night I attended the meeting regarding the Social Security, and it turns out the instructor or the speaker was a CPA. And she passed out this sheet of paper that we can have an additional meeting with her. And in it, she's asking if we know of anybody who would like her speaking, give any speaking. And I do have contacts for that. So what I did, because there was so many people trying to get to her, all I did was circle it. I put an arrow down to the comment field. I says, we'll talk about this when we meet. And I walked up to her. I explained to her that I just did that real quick because I do have contacts, and I am building accounts. And her eyeballs just kind of like jumped out of her head. So she told me last night that her assistant was collecting the sheets, but they were going to get back to us as far as an appointment. So my plan is to I don't know how to put it together so that when I do meet with her, from that perspective,
So
how to put it together.
Let me give some feedback on this. She's a CPA.
Yeah,
And
smart CPA. Oh my God.
And her eyes jumped out of her head based on when you said about I help people do business development.
Yeah.
Right. So this is great feedback for you guys. And Pua didn't know this lady. And if you aren't going to events, put it this way, my encouragement is when you get an invitation, a postcard from a CPA or a financial planner, go to the event. If you aren't going to something in your Chamber of Commerce meetings, you should, because there's no gatekeeper. You can walk up to the attorney. He's got a drink in his hand and a plate of food in the other. And it's easy to walk up to people at networking events because they're just standing there. So there's almost no reason you aren't meeting introducers, or even in some cases, a golden goose. Just don't say, and I'm a realtor. It's about them, not about you. So Pua, thank you for going to the event, giving us all feedback on a CPA went like, what? And
it was so funny. Yeah. So, but it was very enlightening as well. And like you said, I got the card in the mail, and I just thought, what the hell? I'll figure this out, and I'll just kind of see what goes. And I sat in the first row, which I normally sit in the last row. It was a good event. Learned a lot too.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting about you learned a lot that you can use in other conversations with people.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the account executive does. You go these things, you get more educated. And like John was asking about getting more educated in probate, and there's might be something in your marketplace for the real estate board or your favorite title company. And I'm going to really recommend, you want to know more about probate, talk to your title company, and they'll probably be happy to equip you on certain things because they want your business and they want to be helpful. And when your title company has events, guys, those are ones you go to. Don't go to realtor events. They're just realtors there and loan officers.
Yep.
And people chasing you. So the challenge is, what does it look like in the month of August for you? Go forward, make mistakes, we'll reflect on them, but take action. Otherwise, somebody else in your market It's going to do it. Patricia, oh, that was a high five.
No, I wanted just to make a quick comment of this new client, to see if there were any ideas how to approach the situation. And is what probably will probate properties will look, because it's she has health problems. The house has not been kept probably in the last 30 years. Nothing was done or fixed. So I was thinking to bring a group of investors, although I know that they probably will make very low offers.
Well, let me ask you
And
this. So if you have a property like this example, elderly person, very ill, house in bad shape, to ask the attorney, would the family be receptive to an offer? And always be thinking about the next question without saying, are they receptive to a listing agent? That's self-serving. And just resist the thing to go, can I list it? Can I list it? It's can I get a contractor out there to help maybe get the property in condition? Or do you think they're going to want to sell in its present condition? So, Patricia, what do you do next? Is always like with Pua, what's next? With Jacqueline, what's next? Patricia, what's next? We think it's the listing. Not yet. And so what's next with your opportunity in Sarasota, Patricia, is probably asking the attorney, would the family be receptive to an offer? What he might say is, well, it's funny, whenever you ask a question, sometimes people will give you a lot of information you weren't looking for, but they just keep talking. So I would say that based on what I know here, ask the attorney, would they be receptive to an offer? And do they need a clean out specialist, says Patricia. Do they need a clean out specialist? Is there any maintenance they need to the house? Would they be receptive to an offer? Those are your 3 questions, Patricia.
mm-hmm,
See how you can help.
mm-hmm.
Dina?
Thanks.
Hi. It's kind of, I guess, a tech question. So I've been doing the class on the Golden Goose,
Right.
all the classroom stuff. So some of those books, the 4-point interactive book, some of them I can't pronounce. So like I have my script because, I'm practicing in front of the mirror because I promised in my voiceover that I'd practice, and practice again. But what about the script for like the text message and the email and the stuff like that? Is there a place where we can go and print those out? Because they're part of the book.
It's in the script book. It says, there's a page that says what to email somebody.
Yeah. Can I print that?
I don't think you can right click on a mosaic book.
I could.
Oh, you know what we can do?
I can
Screenshot. Screenshot it.
Actually, better. We'll create a drop down on the page. We'll create a drop down, a PDF, you print it.
Perfect.
Thank you for the feedback.
Yeah, because the other one I can click the strip, and then it prints. It pops over to the other and prints.
We got you covered. We'll just create a PDF that you print. Thank you.
I appreciate you, because I would like to have that verbiage internalized. You know what I mean? I practice and practice.
Yeah. Very good. Thank you, Dina. Dina, what market are you in?
Greater Orlando.
Okay. So yeah, we've got people across the country here. It's just all good to meet. And plus we have an agent in Chicago who just referred an agent in Los Angeles.
I was Southside Chicago, born and raised.
Go Cubbies.
There you go. Kicking it in.
Are you a White Sox fan?
Okay. So I'm not really big into baseball, but my nephew plays for the Atlanta Braves. So I have to. Yeah. So Cam and Eddie, shout out. Woo-hoo.
All right. Very good. All right, guys. Anybody else have a last question or so? But I so appreciate your investment of time here. But my real hope is that I'm interviewing you next week. You made some progress. You got a hold of me before you went into the Golden Goose meeting. You don't normally need me to go to a sit down with an appraiser. You don't need me for that. The training's there. But the Golden Goose, that sit down, I really want to talk with you and your introducer to make sure that they know their role when you're together.
Brian, I have a real quick question. So we talked about how siblings may have their own ideas. I had an incident maybe about 2 years ago where I cold called for just one of the people that I had on my list. And it turns out the wife got on the phone, the mom had died, and they were going through probate. And the issue was they had the sister took the lead and she acquired the attorney, and basically everybody had to sign the paperwork. But this one girl that I had that connected with me wanted my input, and she was trying to get me to sit down with the sister. It never happened. But how, taking that kind of a scenario in mind, what would we be able to do to get to the decision maker of the group?
So you're saying if there's 8 siblings, I've had that. There's 8 siblings, and all the siblings are married, which means there's 16 people, and 3 of them don't get along, but one's in charge, and you don't get to them.
Yeah.
So it's going to be, what is it you're going to? My quick answer is, what is it you're going to present to the sibling that you get a hold of? And I'm going to go back.
Known caller.
I'm going to go back to velocity reports, which I haven't shown you guys yet. And that is, how do you create data that blows the mind of the recipient? And that's what you get to the sibling that you can get to. And they've got to be able to show it to their sibling, like, Bobby, you got to look at this stuff. The objective here, you got to eliminate the other realtor. And the other realtor is leading on marketing. We need to lead on data and market insight. And my best answer, whenever you're competing, even on your regular deals, you've got to eliminate the other realtor. And it isn't marketing, it's market insights. And I interviewed so many over the years of my career. I always told sellers, I'm not a marketing genius. I move money for a living. I help determine and defend your value. And I'm an asset manager. If you want a marketing genius, go with the other realtor. But I'm here to move your money. When you articulate that into an email or with the data, you haven't seen it yet, Pua. That's all I can say is, how do you get to the sibling? There's no way to get to them. You need the help of the sibling that you have contact with, but you got to blow them away with the why. And the why is your market insight. And that's my best coaching answer for any realtor in any situation where you can't get to the decision maker. Who can you get to, and what are you going to send them? And because remember, they're now your introducer in a way, and the introducer's got to be impressed with you enough to take you to the golden goose, in this case, the other sister, who didn't want to meet with you. And the objective is eliminate your competitor. How? It ain't on marketing, despite what we're taught. Marketing's a placebo, isn't it? If you underprice a house that sells in a day, no marketing. If you have a listing for a year, it's not marketing. It's price or price. Sometimes it's price. Dina?
Pua, if you don't quit, you can't lose. Just don't quit. Find your way to get in. Find your niche. You can't quit. You can't lose.
Yeah. So when do we get that velocity report?
Yeah, I'm building a lot of mosaic books right now. So, hey guys, you guys stayed on really long. This is going to be recorded. It's going to be at probate84.biz. We're going to load it there. But we're also going to load it in the Probate 84 Business Academy, where there's like a whole bunch of recordings like this are out there. Remember, you are account executives that happen to hold real estate licenses. And we are not selling the American dream. We are relational rainmakers. Set big goals. All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Brian.
Thanks.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks.
Bye.
everybody.